Hi, I'm Tyson Franklin and welcome to this week's episode of 5 Minute Friday. Today I'm recording from my Airbnb in Vancouver, Canada. So if the sound quality is not as good as it usually is, I do apologise, but sometimes you've got to just go with what you have available. So anyway, I've been in Vancouver with my family for the past 7 days, and I have to say that Vancouver is a pretty cool place to visit, and it's surrounded by so much natural beauty, which makes it quite unique. No wonder it has been named one of the world's most livable cities. Anyway, yesterday we visited the Vancouver Police Museum, which I highly recommend if you're in Vancouver. And as I was looking through the exhibits and photographs from the early 1900s, it struck me that so many cities in that same era looked very similar. In fact, it's hard to actually tell them apart. So why am I mentioning this? It's because regardless of how similar they all were in the 1900s, over the past 100 years, most of the cities have developed a particular uniqueness about them, or an iconic figure that separates them from each other. So if you think of Stanley Park, you think of Vancouver. If you think of the Golden Gate Bridge, you think San Francisco, or closer to home, when you see a photo of the Opera House, you think of Sydney. And it's this uniqueness of each city which is now used in their tourism marketing. So this concept of creating uniqueness got me thinking about how small businesses need to be doing exactly the same thing. I was reading a blog article on LinkedIn written by Richard Branson, and he said every airline starts with the same components, but what sets them apart is their people. So think about that for a moment. Most airlines have similar aeroplanes. They use the same airports, so it's a uniqueness that separates them from their competitors, or as Richard put it, it's their people. This blog article got me thinking about my own career and a question my wife asked me a few years ago. Well, actually, it was probably over a decade ago. And I think her question applies to every profession, trade and career, regardless of what you're doing. And this is what she said: how come you can go through university, learn the same information from the same lecturers, pass the same exams, yet within a few years of leaving university and graduating, you practice so differently? So to put this question into context, my background is podiatry, and this question related to my podiatry business in Cairns, and she was comparing my podiatry business to all the other podiatry businesses in the area. And at the time, my business had the latest equipment and it offered services that nobody else in town even thought about offering. My podiatry business was leaps and bounds ahead of my competitors, and I used this to my marketing advantage. So here's my question to you, and the point behind today's podcast: what sets your business apart from your competitors? Do you have some form of uniqueness that you can use to your advantage and make it part of your marketing strategy? If you cannot tell your ideal clients why your business is different and what it is that sets you apart from your competitors, how on earth are your clients to tell you apart? Honestly, they can't. And this is why the guy down the road who you know provides an inferior service or has less training than you do is kicking your butt, or at a minimum, taking some of your clients. So what do you need to do? Have a team meeting and write down all the services you offer and all the small things that you do that you know your competitors don't do. Note down everything that makes your business unique. When this list is complete, you need to convey this information in all your client communications and in all your marketing. Be proud of what makes you unique. You need to be like Vancouver and shout out proudly what makes you better than every other city in the world. Don't keep what makes you great a secret. Did you know that Stanley Park is 10% bigger than Central Park in New York City? If you didn't, well, you do now. You need to find the Stanley Park in your particular business. I hope you get something from this podcast today, and I hope it gets you thinking. And if you have any questions, please send me an email at tf@tysonfranklin.com. Okay, I'll talk to you again next week. Bye for now.